In heaven or where?
Where?
No salvation.
In heaven or where?
It's gone. But you see, Bride, with you are a young man. Okay? So the possibilities have to be pointed out to you. I'm not bothered about Adekoka. He's gone. Now, Bride, listen. I'm saying to you that it depends on the leadership, the commitment, and the priorities. So I'm saying to you that given the same circumstances, one government, because of its commitment, would pay $35 million to Wayome, pay $40 million to Waterville, pay $25 million to Sada, and all of those things. But will not pay 20,000 Ghana cedis for feeding subsidy. Feeding subsidy is the money that was given to the schools in the north. And you know, when they open schools, 2 months, they are sitting at home because that feeding subsidy that government has to pay has not been paid. Feeding grants is the money given to the schools in the south. Recently, the headmaster, Adekoka, look at him. He says it's all gone. You were here when the headmasters, right? You were here when the headmasters had a press conference.
Right?
They had a press conference threatening that they will close down the schools.
But you also know that GS also said that they have not done the right thing. Yes. They had refused to bring in certain documentation.
Have you been to secondary school? You have been to secondary school?
I have.
And you think the caliber of people who become headmasters in this country, all of them, not some 2 or 3, all of them would hold a press conference to complain publicly about government's attitude when they themselves they haven't submitted their. I mean, is that possible? But you see,
all right.
I'm saying to you that it depends on government commitment. Let me give you another example. Look, we're talking about one district, one factory. This government has put up a factory in Comenda, cost $35 million, isn't it? Okay. It's a fairly medium-sized factory. Now, with $7 billion, if that's what the government wants to do, with $7 billion, you can put up 200
factories.
Yes.
And that's what the MPP will do.
I'm saying, so you see, with $7 billion, if that is what you are committed to do as a president,
right?
With $7 billion, you will be able to put up 200 factories the size of Comenda.
Across the country.
Across the country. So Comenda is 35. So 200 of it will cost you $7 billion.
Does it matter what the factory will produce, or once you have the money, you can put it either without the...
As for the need for factories, there's no debate. We are in cry. Look at the things that we import into this country. We import everything. So as for the need to put up factories to produce the things we import, you know, what we call the import substitution, and the need to put up factories to add value to our products, there's no debate. From Kwame, everybody has agreed. It's the money to do it and how you do it. I'm saying to you that if you are a government that is committed, with $7 billion, you can put up 200 factories the size of Comenda, which is a big factory.
And they'll be profitable.
Now, this government, they themselves, they say they have borrowed $18 billion. And they've gotten $3.3 billion from oil. Free money. When you add it, it's over $21 billion. So if they were committed to putting up factories that would do import substitution production, that will add value to our raw materials in this country, they will be able to put up 200 with just 7 billion if they were committed. So everything depends on the leader and his or her commitment to it. Nothing is impossible. You have people paying $35 million judgment debts.
Okay.
And they won't, right. Because that is what they want to do.
Okay.
And yet, let me finish. And yet they will not pay capitation grants.
Your critics, for instance, suggest that, this footage you're talking about.
This what?
The factories you're talking about.
Yeah.
Look at some of the districts. What is the competitive advantage that they have that can can't see a factory thriving, able to produce and get market.
The feasibility will decide the size.
You haven't done that.
No, hold on.
No, the FAP hasn't done.
No, hold on. The feasibility will decide the size of the factory. Can you understand that? So in some areas, you may decide to put up a $1 million factory after the feasibility. In some areas, you may decide to put up a bigger size factory that costs about 4 or 5 million and so on. So, because every area in this country has a natural resource. Every area. And if you have time, I will give you the profile of natural resource distribution in this country. And all of us have said that the big problem we face is that we do not add value to our natural resource. We take them raw. We take rubber, raw, cashew nuts, raw, cocoa, raw, gold, raw, timber, raw. Everything, we take it raw and export. And then we take money to import value-added products. You understand? So we export cocoa, raw beans, and then we take money to import chocolate, which is cocoa value-added. The people in Switzerland that we import chocolates from, they've never seen a cocoa tree.
Is IMANI wrong for saying that this policy is unattainable because perhaps you have not done the feasibility study 4 months into the election and yet you're talking about it?
I'm saying it is not the feasibility. The feasibility is important.
But
whether the feasibility will be done or depends on the leader. And that's why I give you the example of when the NDC said they would do 200 secondary schools. Did they submit a feasibility report? But because they had made that big promise and they were committed to it, they are finding monies to implement it, even though they haven't finished. But they are finding money. Did they bring a feasibility report? When J.A. Kufuor said he would do health insurance for the people of this country, did he bring a feasibility report?
Now you're suggesting that a leader's commitment alone is enough to put up one.
It is the.
That is what you're suggesting.
You see, everything, leadership is cause. The rest is effect. Because you have places in this world, they don't have any natural resource. Japan, Taiwan, and they don't have natural resource. What they have is leadership that is focused and determined.
Right,
you understand? So what you need, let me make my conclusion, is that what you need, as what I have told you.
I'm grateful.
No, he knows I'm going to take him on.
I'm grateful.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, but let me conclude.
Wrap up. Yeah, conclude.
As for Adekoka, he's a red herring.
Why do
you guys, you are a young man. You wear shorts and a jacket. So the future belongs to you. But you see, every young person in this country, from the 18 to 30 years, who have finished school or who are going to finish school, there is no hope for them as we speak. There's nothing for them to look forward to.
Okay.
Right.
You have to look forward to dynamic leadership
for your submission.
And that is what will change the country.
All right, I'm grateful.
Just a minute, if I'm a spent force, how can you have a leader who is 74 years old and has got only 6 years to be able to have a vision that the youth of today should buy into it? And now come here, if me at this my age, I'm a spent force, they've got a 74-year-old leader who has got barely, let's say, give and take, another 6 years to be able to be working, to have a vision for the youth of 18 and 18 onwards. Jesus Christ. That is why he goes to say one factory, one district. There's something called comparative advantage. You ask the Taiwanese, the Malaysians, the Singapore, because there's something called comparative advantage. Even though they don't have enough resources, they have comparative advantage. So you go and do things with the intent that this particular thing that I'm doing, there's a comparative advantage. You just don't go and put up factories and say that the feasibility is not there and you are waiting. I mean, it tells you the vision of the 74-year-old man who has a total spent force. It's a total spent force. So if you are going that trajectory, then Akomia, you have made a serious mistake. Me, I am only 61 years old, so I've got a few years to go. But 74, come on. Then the people of Ghana should really, you see, so you are missing the point. You are missing that. You have totally missing that. You have rather put yourself in a corner. Seriously, Mr. Akomia. You put yourself, your leader is 74 years old. And the man is sleeping along the line. When they tell him that he's sleeping, he doesn't want to accept that. You know, so
okay, we're not going there.
Then he brought it. So I'm trying to position him now that me, I am a bit. When they are talking about comparative advantage, I am even a bit younger than his flag bearer.
Let's stay on.
Exactly.
So for instance, he suggests that that commitment from a leader is enough to ensure these promises materialize.
It is not enough. It is not enough. I just told you, it's not enough. You must have the figures right. You must find whether it is feasible for you to do exactly. We agree that this can we need to add value to our raw materials. It is a fact. It's a statement of fact. But then, like I'm saying, you have to look whether it is very competitive to do that. Sometimes it's good for you to only produce the raw material because the competition in this world is not even China and America. If it's the almighty America, Donald Trump says that he's going to do, he's going to cut trade because he feels that the Chinese are doing better in terms of production and those kind of things. So, like Imani is saying, everybody wants development, but we shouldn't go about promising or making empty promises, things that we will not be able to achieve. And he said that this government has got the resources and what there's a lot to show for. Look, I just give you an example. 8 years ago, just visualize Kotoka International Airport 8 years ago and Kotoka International Airport today. Now, visualize 8 years ago when you came out of the airport and you look at you throw your eyes into the horizon. What do you see? Empty spaces. Now, the moment even you start landing from the plane, on the plane, you realize that the whole of the airport enclave has become what? A business center. That shows you that a lot of investment has gone into that place. You understand? So when you say we've got resources, there's ample, unless you decide not to excite yourself with the development that has gone on in the last eight years. A lot of developments have taken place in this country. And also, people should remember that every loan that the government goes to take, it goes to Parliament. And every loan has got a purpose for it. So if people are saying, where is the money? I expect the people in Parliament who have put there to come and tell us whether the money that were contracted by the government were not used for the purposes that they were meant for. But there's ample evidence there. The second interchange is there for us to see. The Reed Hospital is there for us to see. The University of Ghana, Legon Hospital is there for us to see. Kaswa interchange is taking shape. The roads, the water, Kwamou, all those places. Adenta used to have no water. Now they're having water. You understand? And these are things that we said we are going to do, and we have done it. So Imani can come and say that, look, in the NDC, this is what we said we are going to do. What is the evidence? And I just gave you the evidence. But if you go and stand somewhere and say, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and they're asking you, what is the cost? How are you going to raise money? And say, oh, when I come, I'll do the feasibility study. Then you are lying to the people. You are lying to them. You should be forthright to them and say, look, this is how I'm going to do it for Anakumia's village district. I realize that there's some mango trees there, so I'm going to make a mango factory there. Then we know what you're talking about. You come to my village, maybe there's charcoal. We burn charcoal these days, so we are not going to grow more trees, put up a charcoal factory. Then you are giving the specifics. But this blunt statement that they are making, Imani is right. I mean, I'm not a fan of Imani. But then we have to address the issues rather than throwing about words which, at the end of the day, the electorate get carried away, and then we end up coming back under 4 years and we start the same process again.
I'm grateful. Yes, Nana, right. Briefly, and then we'll move on to something else.
You see, the truth is always brief, so don't worry. In the first place, when I said Adekuka, there's no hope for him. I wasn't talking about his age. Okay, I was talking about his ideas.
But the 74-year-old
Now,
who has got ideas, 74, 74, who is almost spent force. Who's got ideas? Don't go that way.
Right.
It's a slippery road for you.
Yes.
Don't go that way. Because me,
All right.
I've got more ideas than your 74-year-old
All right.
leader.
Okay.
I've got more ideas than you.
right.
Don't go there.
Tell him that we are not fighting here this
You are not fighting,
All right.
but don't go
We are
there.
having-
It's a slippery
we are
road
having
for
this-
you.
Look,
Right.
tell him,
It's a slippery
tell him
road for you.
we are not fighting.
You are not fighting.
We are having a
But it's
conversation.
a slippery road
Yes,
for you.
but we are
Don't
not
go
fighting.
there.
Okay.
See, and when you want to be decent,
Oh, what is
you have your say.
Oh,
The other
continue.
person,
Yes.
they have their
You
say.
go ahead.
Okay.
Because it's not a fact.
It's not the
We are
fact, but
having
don't
a
go there.
boxing match.
Because you go there, I'll come back
Now,
at you.
Akufo-Addo is not even 74.
Whatever.
But
Okay,
that's
that's
beside-
that,
He's
yes,
past
that-
70.
You see,
He's
my
past
brother.
retired age. You look after his
my
grandchildren.
brother, he says that we haven't costed it. Well, very soon, we'll give you the details of the proposal. It's not an issue at all. Our manifesto is coming, our campaign launch is coming, and we'll give you the details. So that's not the issue. See, the issue is that commitment and leadership. He says they've done something at the airport because that's what they wanted to do. Isn't it right? Because that's what they wanted to do. And they've managed to find money to do it. So why do you think that somebody else who's committed to something will not be able to do it? Look, let me show you. Because I don't like fighting. I like to tell the truth to Ghanaians. These people, NDC, on Sunday, 9th November 2008, GNA report, they said they will put up a tomato factory at Ziope in the Volta region. They said they'll put up a tomato factory. Now look at John Mahama. On 16th November.
Please don't cover the microphone with it.
Look at John Mahama on 16th November 2008. He said that Mr. Mahama told students that the GET fund alone, the judicious application of the GET fund, will solve the problem of student loans, accommodation, and textbooks. He said this 16th November 2008. Said the judicious application of the GET fund will solve the student loan, accommodation, and textbooks. He hasn't been able to do it. He said he'll do a tomato factory at Ziope. They haven't been able to do it. Now, John Mahama then told us 17th November 2008 that the NDC will tackle jobs as emergency. He hasn't been able to do anything about jobs. He said that on Tuesday, 25th November 2008, John Mahama said that the NPP had failed in agriculture and the NDC was going to move agriculture forward. Now, at the time that he was speaking in 2008, agriculture was growing at 7.4. And he said it wasn't good. He was going to improve it. Today, as we're speaking with John Mahama as president, agriculture is growing at 2%. Now, on corruption, he said that he was going to set up the office of a special prosecutor. This is John Mahama. You set up the office of the special prosecutor. He hasn't been able to do it. You know? So, and what does it take to set up the office of the special prosecutor? It's just commitment. When you wanted to set up 45 new constituencies in 3 months, were they not able to do it? Because they were committed to it. But they couldn't set up the office of the special prosecutor, who all of us know, or all of us agree, would speed up the fight against corruption. Look at John Mahama here. Daily Graphic, April 14, 2009. He said, the vice president said they will divide the northern region, which stretches over a third of Ghana landmass, into two, to enhance administration and development. This is Daily Graphic, April 14, 2009, front page. 2009, when they were in office. He said they will split up the northern region because it was too big and it will enhance administration and development. 2009, 2016, 8 years. They haven't been able to do it because he wasn't committed to it. This is the one they talk about, the special prosecutor. He said it, the NDC launches manifesto on it. It's all there. So, what does it take to set up the Office of the Special Prosecutor? He said, as part of moves to fight the canker of corruption, the NDC will establish the Office of Independent Fraud Investigator, which will be independent of the Attorney General and the Ministry of Justice. But with power, we don't have time. But I'm saying that, what does it take, Bright?
You are talking about commitment.
You see, because what does it take to set up the Office of the Special Prosecutor? What does it take? Just legislation. But you won't do it because you are not committed to it. But you are committed to paying $40 million.
Okay, now let's move on.
Do you know what happened?
I know, let's move on.
Do you know what happened?
I know.
Now,
I know.
Look.
I know. Let's move on.
Listen, this is your company that you are running here. There's always trouble because your advertisers cannot advertise the way they used to do. And even when they advertise, they're not able to pay because the economy is gone down the tubes. The CD has lost 250%. You see? So, the incompetence is what is the bane of this country.
All right.
If you have leadership that is committed, that is focused, there's nothing you cannot do. Kwame Nkrumah, you were not born, I was not born. Kwame Nkrumah, he put up how many factories? Over 200. Because he was committed to it.
Because, right.
Can you understand?
Okay. All right. Nana, I'm grateful. Let's move on. The commitment. Nana talks about
commitment. You see, I think this is a government, a president who has shown all the commitment that you can marshal within the time that he has been president of this country. And there's abundant evidence to show. That's why I'm saying that people are just refusing for political expediency. It's good to use the words, and it's good to go and stand on platforms and make promises. And when you are held to strict proof, you divert attention and start saying things that are untoward. But there's a lot of commitment, and everybody can attest to that. It's there for us to see. The massive infrastructure, and any country that lacks in infrastructure will not be able to attract the relevant investors to come in. The ongoing elections in the campaign in the United States, the two candidates are all talking of revamping their infrastructure. Here's a situation where that's the first world, where their infrastructure is solid, but they are saying that we have to rebuild our railways, our bridges, our hospitals, and all those things, our schools. And in this dispensation, we are doing exactly that. But we are not making promises where when we are held to strict proof, we start trading about 40 million, 35 million going here and there. We are talking about the evidence-based development that everybody in this country. You see, people say, can we chop roads? I'll give you a small example. Abusokan traffic light. That road was asphalted and it made traffic to flow. Recently, I don't know what has happened, the road there has now become a huge pothole. And when you get there, the traffic jam, it tells you, anytime I get that, it reminds me of the importance of having a good road. Because it's going to facilitate what? Time, save money, and that alone will put money in somebody's pocket. And these are the commitments that this government is doing. For instance, the Kaswa interchange. You spend about 3, 4, 5 hours just to get from what do you call it? Wager, the toll booth to the central region. Look at what is taking shape. And do you know the cost that is going to be saved when that project is completed? So when I talk about commitment, I beg to differ. And when I talk about incompetence, I beg to differ. There's evidence, and you say we shouldn't do politics here. But when we are talking about, we go into the political realm. Here's a party which the leader cannot hold the party together. They've sacked their chairman, they've sacked their general secretary, they've sacked one of their first vice chairperson. The party is totally divided. Even within your own house, you can't show competence there, your own house. And then you are looking at a larger body, and you say you are competent.
That will be our next point of conversation this morning, because the Ghanaian Observer is reporting that story. We can move on. We can move on this.
Not that. You know, the president said that his opponents were sleeping, so they couldn't see the roads. You remember? Then I realized.
I thought we were going to go there with this.
Then you realize that the man is traveling around in 2 helicopters. So, right, the man who
is sitting in 2 helicopters.
He's traveling around in 2 helicopters.
Oh, I see.
Two helicopters in the air. Two of them. One carries himself and is inactive, and then the other. Now you are traveling in the air. You are traveling in the air, and you are telling somebody who's traveling on the road that the
road is so comfortable that when you sit in the car, you fall asleep.
It's
so comfortable. Okay, let's give you this story.
If the road is that comfortable,
I didn't know that.
Listen,
you know when there's no potholes, you don't fall asleep.
But there's no pothole. You are traveling helicopters. If the road is good, why are you traveling in 2 helicopters?
Let's see with this story, because President Mahama is speaking on the stores, and the NPP has hit back at him for suggesting that their party is in disunity. Their leader, the flag bearer, is a dictator. And now these, I'm sure the words used by President Mahama, is it comfortable at all, particularly when he's suggesting that your party, your leader has not been able to hold your party together and yet want to rule Ghana. Perhaps he's talking to the NPP. Is that what he's doing?
No, the president is cracking a joke. He cannot be serious. I mean, the NPP today, is it a divided party?
Well, I cannot tell.
No, but you are neutral.
But I see the party
yes.
on
Now
its
listen.
feet and ready to contest an election.
You have the flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo. He was endorsed by 94% of the party. So when you have a party where the leader gets a 94% endorsement, is that a divided party?
It should not.
Now, it wasn't because he got 94 because he was a sole candidate. He had 6 or 7 other big people in the party contesting him. After the 94%, all the other people who got a 6%, as we speak, they are firmly standing shoulder to shoulder with him in the campaign, isn't it? John Mahama says somebody is a dictator. He was going to contest his party's primaries. One gentleman, just one, not 6, one, wanted to contest him. They sacked the man from the party for daring to contest John Mahama. I'm not talking of 6 people, one person. They sacked him. It's called Mr. Boating.
Because he didn't do the right thing?
The person who...
they sacked him
the
for
person
other
who,
reasons.
Well, I'm saying they sacked him, isn't it?
The party said he didn't do the right thing.
Yeah, but if somebody didn't do the right thing, you sack the person.
So he was disqualified.
No, the man has been sacked from the party. And you know what's even worse, right? The party officials who, after the man had paid his money, who sold their application forms, they've been sacked from the party.
For doing the wrong thing.
For selling application forms. Then, so you can't even let anybody contest you. The person who tried to contest you, you've sacked him from the party. And yet you are calling somebody a dictator. Isn't it a joke? Now, he says, because, look at Dekoka, he said nobody has been sacked from the NPP. And you should, I'm sure you took it as a joke. But you see, the people have been suspended.
They're only on suspension, yes.
But because Adekoka, I don't think you. So right. Nobody has been sacked from the NPP. People have been suspended.
Right.
Now, Adekoka is the regional chairman of the NDC. In that capacity, he is able to suspend 2 parliamentary candidates. He suspended a parliamentary candidate for Ningo Prampram. He suspended a sitting MP and parliamentary candidate for Ladade Kotopon. You regional chairman and your team. The party itself, and this is the first party in this 4th Republic to sack a general secretary. Do you know that? In 2004.
Dr. Josiah.
Okay. Right, but you know these things more than I do. These people, up to today, how many years? 2004 to 2016. Josiah has not been called back to the NDC. He was a sitting general secretary. Kofi Adams, he was a sitting, I think so, deputy general secretary also. 2011, they suspended him. And with these people, they don't even put you to disciplinary committee and appeal. No, they don't do that. Adekoka suspended Sam George without taking Sam George to disciplinary committee and appeal. No, just suspended.
Is your point that the NDC is doing the same thing you're
doing?
No, is that your point?
No,
or they are doing worse?
No, I'm saying that suspensions are part of political party procedures. I mean, suspensions are a way of discipline, isn't it? So you have suspended people as a way of disciplining them, according to your party's constitution. And when other party also uses suspension to discipline people, you say they are dictators. Does it? Can you understand the way these people think? Is it because you have suspended your general secretary in 2004? You suspended your deputy general secretary in 2011. You suspended parliamentary candidates. There's a woman who was a parliamentary candidate. She had said that somebody who wanted to be DCE had gone and collected money or paid money. They suspended her. They didn't take her through disciplinary procedures. She didn't appear before any panel. She didn't have the right of appeal. This is the record of the NDC.
Let me put that question to Nia.
And let me end. You see, in the NPP, and I suspect maybe in the NDC too, the parties are run by committees. You see, they are run by committees. So I'm sure Adekoka, as a regional chairman, has a regional executive committee which takes decisions. You understand? Same as the NPP. Akufo-Addo, as the flag bearer, with all his 94% endorsement, cannot sack me. I'm some small fry, just some small communications director. He cannot sack me. How can he sack a chairman? Does it make sense to you? Right. If Akufo-Addo, because I was appointed by the National Executive Committee, if Akufo-Addo believes that Nana Akufo-Addo should be suspended, because he would have to go right to the National Executive Committee stating the reasons why he believed Nana Akufo-Addo should be removed from his position. And the National Executive Committee would go into the matter. They will refer the matter to a special team to investigate. They will give me a hearing. He cannot sack me. So if the flag bearer cannot sack the small communications director, how can he go and sack or suspend the national chairman? Does it make sense to you?
Let me put this question to Nia Adekoka. So you two have cobwebs in your trunk, and yet you're picking at the NPP. That's what Nana Akufo-Addo suggested.
Yes, rightly so. We did do some suspensions, and but you should look at the substance, and the circumstances. We are talking about this. In the case of the national chairman, he was calling for investigation into certain matters that he felt they were untoward. Because of that, he was asked to appear before a discipline committee. What is the crime of the national chairman? Nobody has told us what crime he has committed. The crime that they said he has committed was that he asked for an investigation into some slush fund somewhere. We are talking about Sam George. I'll tell you the circumstances. Here's a situation where we have...
In his case, he says there are circumstances.
I'm giving you. I'm giving you.
I told you. In his case, he says there are circumstances.
I'm giving you. Yeah, and I told you in your case...
Okay. There are no circumstances.
And I answered the circumstances. The circumstances is that your national chairman was asking for the police to investigate into certain funds that he claims are missing. That's the circumstances. And he was doing something that was right for your party. And your flag bearer and his gang against him, today you are saying that has been suspended.
I want to be a little
He's told us that the flag bearer cannot dispose of it.
But I want to be a little right.
We went through a proper...
There is this woman, Edreso, parliamentary candidate. She said Somebody who wants to be DC for Ejiso had gone and paid money.
Oh, then let me finish.
They sacked the woman.
Okay.
You see, you are talking about some woman in Ejiso.
The parliamentary candidate.
And we are talking about a whole national chairman who has gone for an election and won the mandate of the good people of the MPP. A whole general secretary who has gone for an election and has won. What's the crime of the general secretary? Tell me. Tell me what your general secretary has done. Communal depot. Tell me. You just say you are the communication director.
Okay, let me tell you.
Tell me, I'm listening. What has he done?
Let me tell you.
What has he done?
But,
Tell me. So please don't tell me. You can tell me later. You can tell me later.
I thought you were going to. And move on.
You don't like the truth.
Let me tell you.
But
So
you don't like the truth.
let me finish. So
But you asked me a
you are
question.
comparing apples
You asked
with
me a
oranges. That's what you are doing. We are talking about your big shot.
Which one is the orange?
Oh, the apple is your chairman.
I see. Wrap up. We have left 5 moments.
So I believe that they need to put their house together. They are not ready to run this country. They are seriously divided, and when instead of them doing campaign, you find the Kabus and their regional national organizer on demonstration. When you should be campaigning, you are demonstrating. I mean, and then you come and say people should contribute for you to go and demonstrate. Put their money into your party to go and demonstrate. Instead of you giving us cogent policies that has been costed, that the good people of Ghana will know that you will do this. Rather, you are wearing red shirts in Tamale, demonstrating. It shows you the kind of people we are dealing with here. And the president is right. The president is absolutely right. We are in a serious situation in this country that we must have serious people to run this country. Can you imagine having, I don't want to go there, but for me, I believe that this country must be serious and take things and do less politicking and do serious thinking, so that the 18-year-old that my brother is talking about, who are coming, that we who are gradually becoming spent forces, and those who have already become endangered species, will allow the system to operate with a better vision. That's what we are talking about.
The president's seeming attacks on his opponent is not a sign of desperation.
No, it's not desperation. It's a fact that the president has to point out, you see, the weakness of whoever is competing with. You need to look at what's happening in the U.S. What's happening this morning? Trump says Hillary is a bigot. You understand? And also, Clinton is telling him that he's somebody who is he has brought the extremist people on board. And America is now divided. And this is what we should avoid here. But then, pointing the weakness to the person does not make you desperate. It's not desperation. Okay, you have to make two choices. People to see the two choices. And we are saying, at least for us, we've got a track record that we can fight on. And less promises. I'm saying that even our manifesto should be a continuation of what we are doing. Okay. It's because we have got the schools to complete. We've got the roads. So write the manifesto should be a continuation of what already is in progress.
Okay, I'm grateful. Then I wrap up for me in 2 minutes.
I want you to just observe something. Since the NPP took firm disciplinary action against some officials, don't you see that in the last 1 year, the party has been calm, the party has been focused, the party has been united, and the party represents the best hope for the people of this country compared to the period when the discipline action was taken, where there was chaos and cacophony in the party all the time. Every small boy can see it. It's only the NDC which is worried about it, so you can understand. But you see, the president tells us he's laid a foundation, and Adekoka is talking about it. What foundation? When agriculture was growing at 7.4 and you have reduced the growth to 2, is that a foundation? When the economy was growing at 14% in 2011 and you have reduced it to 4, is that a foundation? When interest rates were 25% and you have worsened it to 36%, is that a foundation? I thought when you say foundation, you are coming to make the thing stronger, isn't it? But when you've come and made the system weaker, and then you have said you are laying a foundation, right? Can your mind understand this? Because when somebody comes and say, I have laid a solid foundation, it means that they've come and strengthened the base. But you look at the base, agriculture is declining. Industry is declining. The cedis, the price of the dollar has gone up 250% in the last 8 years. Interest rates from 25 is now 35, 36%. The deficit, okay, we've gone to the IMANI. And then at the very time you are destroying the base, you are telling the people that you are laying the foundation.
Okay.
These people will never stop lying. They will never stop lying.
He's the communications director of the NPP, Honorable Nana Kwame. I'm grateful for your time this morning. Wish you a great weekend.
Thank you.
And hope to see you. And Nia De Koka is a Greater Accra chairman of the NDC.
I don't fight. I put the facts on
I'm
the
grateful for your
table.
time, gentlemen. Wish you a great weekend.
Thank you very much. Nice one.
Thanks so much for joining me, Nana. Grateful. All right.